Today, a blindfolded challenge run of Monster Hunter World got viral, as the famous streamer Asmongold reacted to it. Monster Hunter is a game in which you battle really strong monsters with a variety of different weapons, usually 1 versus 1 or in a team, and the monsters you face get progressively stronger and more difficult. The video in question shows a streamer fighting one of the most difficult endgame bosses in the entire game, all while blindfolded. This boss is literally one of the last monsters you can fight, and many casual players have failed to beat this dragon, leading to a forever unfinished game file. So obviously, many people were extremely impressed by this world-first kill, but very soon experienced Monster Hunter speedrunners began to question the validity of this run. There have been blindfolded runs of Monster Hunter World kills in the past, but they all followed vastly different approaches. Some heavily rely on a locked-on system, others rely on long weapons and luring enemies into corners to guarantee hits, but this run was just too good. The dodges were too perfect, the gameplay way too fluid. So, I got a message in the morning from Yuzi, an experienced individual level runner of Monster Hunter, asking for my blindfolded expertise in the field and if I think that the run is fake or not. So, let's take a little dive into this game and see if the run is fake or if the skill of the person in question is simply on another level. For those who do not know me, I am doing blindfolded speedruns close to daily since 7 years, have performed blindfolded speedruns multiple times at international events, and routed around 50 different games blindfolded at this point. That being said, I am pretty confident in figuring out blindfolded setups and also finding ones that do not seem very legit. To top things off, I also have quite the knowledge of Monster Hunter games, as it is one of my favorite series for casual gameplay, and I also held the visual speedrun world record for one of its major categories for a few weeks after release. When I opened the video, I instantly noticed 3 major flaws with what is going on. Let me try to explain those flaws in a way that everyone understands, even without any prior game knowledge. Number 1. The camera movement. The streamer in question is using keyboard and mouse to play, and the thing that any blindfolded speedrunner would instantly notice is how fluently she moves the camera towards the dragon. Using echolocation and the stereo sound cues of the dragon to point the camera towards the general direction should be hard, but possible. The astounding part is how fast she can react to those sounds and how precisely she can adjust the camera towards the dragon. Not only that, but it looks like literally visual gameplay. The camera has the dragon close to always in focus, meaning somewhere in the center of the screen. From my experience, if you are blindfolded in a 3-dimensional world, touching the camera controls is one of the very last things you want to do. I have ran blindfolded games like Breath of the Wild and Dark Souls, both which require precise 1 versus 1 fights like this, and the amount of times I use a camera stick at all is close to 0. Usually, you would rely on a lock-on system that does the work for you, or keep the camera in one place without moving it, in order to reorient yourself afterwards. This also aligns with the other 2 blindfolded runs I have found. The blindfolded run from the T-Rex basically has the monster constantly locked up, no matter how messy the camera turns during combat, which makes hitting the monster consistently possible. The other example of Twas by design does not use the lock-on feature, but the camera stays basically still the entire fight. I even booted up the game myself afterwards to test it, and while it is definitely possible to track enemies with their sound, I do believe setting up precise attacks like this is close to impossible. Which brings me to the next point. Number 2. Greatsword and headshots. Let us take a moment to talk about the weapon of choice here. She is using the Greatsword, which is a rather precise weapon, as you do more damage for calculated charged attacks onto weak points like the head. You basically commit to holding the attack button for a long time with the hope that the enemy lines up perfectly into the attack for massive damage. While in visual gameplay you would use lineups and the monster's behavior to predict where it goes next, you can see her not only setting up the camera precisely to the dragon's head, on top of that perfectly gauging the distance between her and the dragon, but also committing to charge attacks that actually hit most of the time in the video. There is a reason why the playstyle you can see here is called sniping. It is a high risk, high reward playstyle if you don't know what you are doing, and while she clearly has the visual experience really does not translate directly into blindfolded gaming. Keep in mind that the entire fight seems to be done without any setups for it as well. It seems to be just running around, dodging attacks and getting headshots back to back to back. Combining the absurd hit rate of perfect headshots with the greatsword, together with the precise camera manipulation, I cannot but have some doubts about the legitimacy of this run. Number 3. Experienced speedrunners' opinions. Usually, when an established member of a speedrunning community reaches out to verify the legitimacy of Blindfolded or any run, you know that something has to be off already. Speedrunners tend to have deeply rooted knowledge of their respective games, and usually they can easily tell if something is fishy. Of course, that does not apply to all situations. But Juicy has released a video themselves, pointing out really detailed actions that seem suspicious, and while I did not want to include any outside opinion in my analysis of this run, upon watching it, I just could not ignore some of the obvious clues. To be very sure, I also brought my speedrunning friend Jal Bagel, currently top level speedrunner of Monster Hunter World, into this mess, asking for his expert opinion. He very quickly came to the same conclusion as me with the camera and the headshot lineups, but also found some rather interesting aspects that I have not thought about. One of them was that a lot of her headshot setups look like common visual lineups, and that it would be interesting to see side-by-side comparisons how she usually does the fight visually. I am by far not experienced enough to conclude such minor differences, but I found it is a very interesting approach that we should consider more often in analyzing such runs. Another interesting aspect is her reaction to being defeated right after she gets hit. According to Jal Bagel, there is no distinctive audio cue when you die until you are back in the camp. It just sounds like any other hit. Even so, she fully reacts to being carted at the time the second it happens. To conclude all of this, in my opinion as a blindfolded speedrunner, while some of this could potentially be done without sight, the run is, to be blunt, fake. Now, here is the interesting part of the story that you might not have heard though. While examining this case, I got the chance to see and talk to many different speedrunners of Monster Hunter, and even found new blindfolded runs I never knew about of a series I dearly love. Overanalyzing this run, this tiny speedrunning community came together, accepted me as an outsider, and we became good friends. And you know what? That is absolutely awesome. It fills me with so much happiness knowing that there are so many kind, talented and awesome speedrunners out there that I didn't even know about just yet. And because of a silly little joke for their streaming growth, one funny fake run brought us all somehow together. It is just like back in the days when Charlie Brown 64 released a blindfolded cheetah in SM64 video, when suddenly everyone greeted us real blindfolded runners with open arms and found excitement to learn more about it. With that said, I want to conclude this video by saying, please give absolutely zero hate or anything to the person in question here. I am sure it was a funny little challenge for this stream, and I truly believe they are otherwise a very kind and nice person. Instead of giving the video in question more attention though, rather go ahead and check out the real blindfolded speedruns of Monster Hunter that I have found. They are all linked in the description below. Here is to hoping that more connections between communities get made in the future, and that no more blindfolded runs will be faked. Big shoutouts to my patrons Zeeksmany, King Roops, Boris, Bob Farrell and Benlitz, as well as all the other ones for supporting my channel, and see you very soon with more blindfolded awesomeness. Thank you and see you around. Bye bye.